Hi Year 2, welcome to your maths lesson today with me, Mrs. Ovens, and today we're going to be focusing on telling the time. Time is quite a tricky thing to learn as there are lots of different parts to it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do our lesson in chunks. So I'm going to show you how to tell the time first of all to o'clock, and then I want you to pause the video to do your task, and then I will show you how to tell the time for 1/2 past. Then again, pause the video, do the task. Then I will show you how to do 1/4 past and 1/4 to. And again, you'll need to pause the video to do your task. And then finally today, for purple work, I'm going to be showing you how to tell the time to the nearest 5-minute interval. So if you have one of these interactive clocks at home, feel free to do the interactive part of the session. You can show the time using your clock. If you don't have one of these, don't worry, just do the tasks that I show you. So we're learning to be able to tell the time using an analog clock. That is using a clock face to be able to tell the time. And red work today is telling the time to o'clock. Now, you might remember from year 1 that when we are looking at telling the time to o'clock, we need to first of all look at the minute hand. Now, the minute hand on a clock face is this longer hand, okay? And when you're telling the time to o'clock, the minute hand should be on 12, the number 12, okay? The numbers on the clock face are hour numbers. So when you look at the hour hand, which is the short hand, and it's pointing to a number or between numbers, this tells us what that hour is or what hour the time is going towards. Okay, so here, o'clock, first of all, I need to look at my minute hand to make sure it's on 12, because we know that 12 means o'clock. Then I can have a look at my hour hand to see what that's pointing at. And here I can see it's pointing at 1. So the time on my clock face here is 1 o'clock. If you have an interactive clock, you can go ahead now and show the times for 3, 5, and 10 o'clock. If not, let's have a little look at your resource, which is on the website, and you can have a go at the red task. If you find the red task really easy, you might just want to say them verbally and then move on to orange task. So here you can watch me practice. This is what your sheet would look like. So you'll have a clock face, an analog clock, and you will need to write the time below on the line. So here I can see that my minute hand, my long hand, is pointing to 12. So this is showing o'clock. Now I need to look at my short hour hand, and that is pointing to 9. So the time would be 9 o'clock. Okay, let's look at the next one. Again, my minute hand is pointing to the 12, which shows o'clock, and my hour hand is now pointing to the 5. That would be 5. Okay, now what I would like you to do is to pause the video to have a go at doing your red task. When you finish your red task, unpause, and then we can carry on. Now I'm going to show you orange work. So orange work is telling the time to 1/2 past using the analog clock face. Okay, so we know from before that when the minute hand, this long hand, is pointing to the 12, that shows o'clock. Now when that minute hand has gone halfway around the clock and is now pointing at 6, we call that 1/2 past. Okay, and we can see when we look at our hour hand that that is halfway past an hour. So it's halfway here between 1 and 2. So because it's halfway past 1, we would call that 1/2 past 1. If you have an interactive clock, you can go ahead and show your clock for the times below. If you don't, then you can move on to your task by looking at the resource online. So watch me practice. Here I can have a look, always looking at my minute hand first. It is pointing to 6, so it's halfway around the clock. So it's half past. Now I need to have a look at my hour hand to see which number it's gone past. And I can see it's gone past 2. It's not 3:30 because the hour hand hasn't gone past 3 yet, only just gone past 2. Okay, we'd call that one half past 2. Let's look at the next one. It's still halfway around the clock. So your minute hand is still pointing to 6, but it's now gone past a different number. And here we can see that it's gone past 7. So we would call that half past. And when it's half past, you'll always see that the hour hand would be halfway past the number that it's just gone past and between the number that it's halfway towards. Okay, so perfectly halfway in between. Okay, now I'd like you to pause the video again so that you can have a go at doing your orange task. When you've done your orange task, unpause me so then I can show you how to do green. Okay, now green work today is where it gets really tricky because we're going to be doing 1/4 and 1/4 past. And now what you need to know for this is that when we're using the analog clock, it actually has 2 sides to it. So the first side, because we know that the minute and hour hand goes clockwise, so it goes this way around the clock. The first side, the first half, is called past. Okay, and that stops at 6. And the second half, so this side, is called the to side of the clock. Okay, now with 1/4 past, I'm going to show you 1/4 past, which is here to begin with. We can see that the minute hand has gone 1/4 of the way around the clock. So now it is on 3. So here, if I look at this little image here, I've gone 1/4 way on 3, and we call that 1/4 past. Okay, it's on the past side of the clock. 1/2, we can see is on the to side of the clock, and the minute hand is 1/4 of the way towards the next hour. Okay, so it's pointing at 9. If we have a little look at the diagram here, at where that minute hand would be pointing to, we could see here it would be pointing at 1/4. So if it's 1/4 past, your minute hand is pointing to the 3. If it's 1/4, your minute hand is pointing to the 9. And that's the first thing that you need to look at when you're looking at your clocks today. Is your minute hand on the 3 for 1/4 past, or is your minute hand on the 9 showing 1/4? Okay. If you have your interactive clock, you can show your times now for 4:45 and 6:15. If not, let's move on. You can watch me practice. So first of all, I need to look at my minute hand again. So let's look at this clock face first. My minute hand is pointing to the 3. If I look over here where the 3 would be, I can see it's on the past side and it's 1/4 of the way past. So this is showing me 1/4 past. Now I need to know what hour it's gone past. I'm going to have a little look, just like half past, it's going to have gone 1/4 of the way past that hour. So I'm looking at my short hour hand and I can see that it's gone past 7. So we would call that 1/4 past 7. Okay. Look at this clock face. Now I can see that my minute hand is on the 9. Let's have a little look at the diagram. If it's pointing to the 9, it would be here, and we call that 1/4. It's on the to side of the clock. So this is 1/4. Now this is where it's a bit different because we're now looking at what number my hour hand is going towards, not past. Okay, so it's going towards, because it's the next number that it's coming to, towards the 10. So we'd call that 1/4 10. Okay, it's not 1/4 to 9 because it's gone past the 9. because we know that it's 2:45, we're looking for the hour hand it's going towards. So the next hour hand it's going to hit is going to be 10. Okay, so we would call that 9:45. Okay, it might be easier for you when you're doing your green work today to pause the screen so that you can see this diagram. Okay, it might help you if you get confused about if it's 2:15 or 2:45 to be able to look at that just to double check to be sure. And just make sure that when you're looking at your hour hand, you're looking to either see, has it gone past an hour number, or do I need to look, is it going towards an hour number? Okay, you can now do your task, pause the screen, and when you finish this, come back to me, unpause me, and then I will show you purple work. If you found this bit really tricky, maybe you've made a few mistakes, then stay on green and have some more practice on green rather than moving on to purple. Okay, if you've come back to me now, then that means you're ready for purple work. So, purple work is telling the time to the nearest 5 minutes. Now, when you look at the clock face, we can see all of the hour numbers that go around the clock, and there are 12 of those. But on a clock face, there are smaller lines which show the minutes. And we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes between each hour number. Okay, so what that means is when we want to tell the time to the nearest 5 minutes, we can count in 5s to be able to work out what the time is when it's not 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, or 0:00. Now, when we're counting in 5s, it's a little bit different because we need to have a look at where the minute hand is and figure out if we need to go clockwise, if it's on the past side, or anti-clockwise if it's on the to side. And if that sounds a little bit confusing, that's okay, because I'm going to show you what that means. So for example, if this is your minute hand, not very straight, and it's on the number 4, we'll be counting in 5s, but we'll need to be counting on the past side. So we're going clockwise around the clock. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So that minute hand is showing you 20 past. Now, if it was pointing to the 10, on this side of the clock, on the to side, we'd have to go the other way when we're counting. We wouldn't count clockwise, we'd have to go anti-clockwise because it's on the other side of the clock. That's where it gets a bit confusing. So we're still starting at 12, which is 0 for minutes. And it's 5, 10, but we're on the to side. So it's 10, 2. Do a little bit more. And try that one again because that wasn't very clear. So here, I'm now on the 5. I'm on the past side, so I need to go this way, clockwise. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Always counting in 5s. 25 past, this is. It's on the other side. 7, we go the other way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 2, because it's on the to side. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do that also with the hour hand. So you can have this diagram to help you whilst you're doing your work today. And I'm going to have a little look at these 2 clock faces that I have on my screen. Now, if you want to, you can split your clock in 2, just like in my diagram. I'm going to do that today because it just reminds me the past and the to sides, so I know which way I need to count when I'm counting in 5. So I'm going to split my clock in 2. Now, first of all, I need to look at my minute hand. It's on this side of the clock, which is past. So I'm going to count this way. And I'm going to go, you can do the jumps if you want to, or don't if you don't want to, it's up to you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So stop when you get to where that minute hand is pointing. So that's 25 past. Now I need to look at my hour hand, and I'm looking to see which number it's gone past. Remember, past. It's gone past the 2. So that one is 25 past 2. Let's look at my other clock. I'm going to draw my line again, just straight down the middle. My past and my 2 side, I can see my minute hand is on my 2 sides. That's the way I need to count, starting from 0, 0, 5. So this is 5 on the 2 side, 5, 2. Now I need to look at my hour hand to see what number it's going towards, and it's coming towards the 2 this time. Okay, so it would be 5, 2, 2. If you have an interactive clock, you can show 20 past 5 and 10 to 12. If not, let's move on to our task. So you can watch me practice. So split my clock in 2. I can see my minute hand is on the 2 side of the clock. So I'm going to count that way in my 5, starting from 0, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm on the 2 side. So it's 25, 2. Now I'm looking, because it's 2 and not past, I need to see what hour number my hour hand is going towards. It's coming towards 11. 25 to 11. Let's do the other one. My clock in 2. I can see my minute hand is on the past side, so that's the side I'm going to count on, starting from 0, counting in 5s. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 20 on the past side. So 20 past. Now I need to have a little look at my hour hand to see what number it's gone past. And it's past the 9. 20 past 9. So that's me having a practice. Now it is your turn. So your steps to success today, make sure that you've paused the video after each colour shown to you so that you can complete the task in chunks. It can be quite overwhelming if you watch the whole video and then go back and try and do some of the earlier tasks because there's a lot of information in here. First of all, you need to look at the minute hand, which is the longer hand, and you need to see if it's showing o'clock, half past, quarter to, quarter past, or if you need to count in 5s for 5-minute intervals. You also need to make sure that when you're counting in 5-minute intervals, that you're counting clockwise if it is past and anti-clockwise if it is 2. Then you need to have a look at your hour hand and figure out, do you need to have a look for the hour number that it's gone past or the hour number that it's going towards. Okay, don't worry if you found today a little bit tricky because we will do time again soon. And hopefully you found this video useful. Enjoy and good luck.